Hi there guys, it's Tom here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to create the best possible image from, quite frankly, an old and inexpensive piece of kit. To demonstrate my point today, I'm going to be using this. This camera was released in 2012, the Nikon D3200, or Nikon if you're American. I think you guys pronounce it like that. I don't know. You can pick this camera up for like 150 quid, and sure, it doesn't shoot in flat or log or 4K. But it's got a video capability, and that's really all you need for a jumping off point. DSLRs are a great place to start with videography. I started my career with a Canon 550D, I believe. Fantastic camera, and you know, over the years I found myself shooting more with DSLRs. Now this particular model belongs to my partner, and she got this when we were at university together, so yeah, makes sense, around 2012. She used it for one project and it has been sat in a box ever since. But anyway, the overall plan of this video is to hook this up, shoot a piece to camera, and then basically make it look as fresh as we can. Okay, so here we go. We've got, as you can see here, it's very warm straight off the bat, but it's not terrible. The footage isn't actually awful footage. It's not too bad at all. Let's just see if we can bring this guy up full. Okay, so look at that, here I am. So the thing to remember first of all is this is shot with no lighting. I shot this in my conservatory, so I got as much kind of natural light in as I could. This is really aimed at someone who has just picked up a camera and that's it. You've not got the money for lights, you've not necessarily got the money for expensive lenses, all that kind of stuff. So this is a kit lens, no lighting, everything's coming from outside, so that's why we kind of get this fall off. And you can kind of tell that by, if you look here, we've got the kind of lighting, it kind of falls off here, you know, so it's a lot brighter here. The highlights are a bit more, not intense, I mean nothing about this is particularly intense, but there's almost a gradient with exposure slightly going across, and that's just because the lighting from a conservatory off to that side, we've just been hit with more light, essentially. That's the way it was. This is Premiere Pro, the most common, probably go-to video editing software. It's all I use, really, so there's no plugins or add-ons. It's just straight away install, fresh out the camera. So, as you can see, the image is quite warm. So first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to make a adjustment layer for our edit. Here we go. And let's lay that on top of there, like so. So first of all, what we want to do over here, we see there's a lot more reds, and that's obviously, like, it's a warmer image. There's a lot more going on in terms of like oranges, skin tone, stuff like that, and that's all sitting there in the reds, and that's all bumped up quite high. So first thing I'm going to do is try and even these out a little bit. This is a very handy tool over here. Make sure you open your Lumetri color tab. So all in all, this is quite a hot scene, and I don't mean like hot as in damn that's fine. I mean hot as in like the tone, it's very warm. We've got a lot of oranges and reds here, and it might not seem it right now, but hopefully in a minute you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to grab the white balance select, and we're going to try to cool this off a little bit. Let's find some nice neutral here. Like that's white, that's supposed to be white. Boom, look at that. Straight away, massive difference. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into curves, and I'm just putting a nice tiny little S curve here. I'm just going to play around with our sort of shadows, contrasts, highlights, whites, that sort of stuff here. You only need a little bit. So there we go, we've got a tiny, that's, you know, tiny little S curve. Made a big difference. Back to our general kind of basic correction, and let's bump up the exposure tiny little bit here. Yeah, I like that. But then you see here, we've got now the highlights are a bit strong here, so we're just going to pull these down and dampen some of that off a little bit. There we go. Again, this is a £150 camera. Like, this is 150 quid. It's not bad. not bad at all for 150 quid. Not too bad. Like, there's a lot of noise there, but I honestly, I quite like that. I quite like the way that feels. It reminds me of when I was shooting stuff when I was like 16. So there we have it, guys. That's a very, very quick way of showing you how to clean up your image using Premiere Pro. You don't need the newest camera, the best camera. As long as you can sort of take control of what you're doing in post-production. I wouldn't always rely on post at all. It's a very bad habit to get into, that whole we'll fix it in post. It's a terrible attitude to have, because more often than not you're gonna find you have more problems. It's like audio. If audio isn't recorded right, it's very, very difficult to make it sound good. And the same goes for images. You know, once you've highlighted too much, that date is gone, that's ruined, you know, things like that. So yeah, if I were Evo and you want to take just one thing away from this video, white balance. I'd say white balance is key. We could see how huge a difference that made once we evened out the skin tones and the overall just color of the video. That's it for me anyway. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching it. I really appreciate you taking the time to engage with the content I'm putting out. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and click like. If you want to see more from me or learn about this sort of stuff, you can always hit subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching and see you soon.